Welcome back to the channel, guys. Hope everybody's having a great day. Now, before I get into the three teams that I think Josh Rosen should be traded to, or the three teams that should trade for him, I want to make this disclaimer that I do think that Josh Rosen is getting a bad rap for the way the Arizona Cardinals season went, and I want to tell you guys that it's not fair for him because he had no control over that offensive line being shaped how it was. 7 guys going on IR when the season was over. There were 7 offensive linemen on IR. They lose their offensive linemen mostly all the time, and it's not fair to him to put that on his back as a negative slight that he's just not that good. That's not fair to him because a quarterback, and everybody was raving about him, and when he has a bad year because of, according to Steve Smith Sr. of the NFL Network, Steve Wilkes and thought he was backstabbing. There was no trust. They didn't like the coach. They didn't like how things were being going. They didn't like how people were responding to the coach. Whatever. And then at the end of the year, players came out and said they want him to stay. He wound up being fired. I'm adding on to that, but Steve Smith said that he felt that he got backstabbed. Certain situations was a backstabbing situation. That's from Steve Smith Sr. So I'm going to take it at his word because obviously he has sources. Now with Josh Rosen, if that's not his fault. That's not his fault that people didn't believe in him. That's not his fault that, the coaching wasn't there or different things like that. Or some people didn't believe he's not the right guy. Or, because I know there's certain people who just never going to think a certain quarterback is the guy until the quarterback proves them wrong. But Josh Rosen being in Arizona and the way that season went was never his fault. So I don't want people ever trying to blame him or say he's the reason they had a 3-13 season. It's not his fault. Knock it off. If you're going to be negative about Josh Rosen, that's not being fair to him. Offensive line was trash. They didn't have a running game because David Johnson did not play like he usually plays. Maybe he was hurt again. He didn't have a good season because of the offensive line as well. Christian Kirk got hurt during the middle of the season towards the end of the season. Larry Fitzgerald was just not put in great positions for him to win and let the team win and help the team win. So there's a lot of things that went into it. But that's what I want to say about that. So stop blaming him for having 11 touchdowns and 14 interceptions. That's not his fault. He didn't have a good offensive line. Now, the 3 teams I think he should be traded to, first is the New England Patriots. And I'm not putting this in, I want him to go to New England Patriots, then, the other 2 teams. I'm just saying I want him to, these are the teams I'm just listing off, but I'm just saying it in this way. It's not in order. Starting off, the first team I think he should go to is the Patriots, or should trade for him is the Patriots, because they don't have a succession plan after Tom Brady. And Josh Rosen with Josh McDaniels would be a good combination because they like those prototypical quarterbacks who can stand in the pocket, who are not really that mobile, but can throw down the field and who could be accurate inside the pocket. They love pocket passes in New England. Now, here's a scenario. If Bill Belichick does retire and he leaves and Josh McDaniels stays and getting the head coach job, which everybody thinks is going to happen, which we don't know if Robert Kraft basically promised him the job. We don't know that. So, for me, Josh Rosen should be considered for New England because they would have a succession plan to Tom Brady. Josh McDaniels would be there to be his coach, and they can run that same system that they did with Tom Brady, surround him with a good offensive line, give him a good defense or a decent defense, and then play off of his strong suits. But also, for me, even if Bill Belichick stays with the Patriots, it would still be good because he can put down that certain order of, okay, he's the guy. He can coach him really well because Josh Rosen to me is a guy who wants to be coached. And a lot of people talk about his attitude and stuff like that. I don't think he has a bad attitude. I just think he really, really, really wants to be coached well and have stability with the team. And I think if he went to New England, they would give him stability and he would be coached well because Bill Belichick will be running it from the top. Even if it's Josh McDaniels' offense and having the confidence in him and saying, okay, here, you're the future here, and there's nobody that's going to come here and take your job, I think that would help Josh Rosen as well. Now, number 2, the New York Giants. And why do I say the New York Giants? They have the 6th pick in the draft, and they really need a quarterback. And Eli Manning is on his last legs. Basically, don't let the door hit you with the good Lord split you. But it's time for the Giants to move on. This can be another Kurt Warner situation where Kurt Warner was the mentor for Eli Manning, first 8 games. I saw Shannon Sharp say this on Undisputed, that it would be good for Josh Rosen to get in there. Well, he didn't say Josh Rosen, but he did say if they trade for a quarterback, and having Eli Manning mentor him. And for me, I think Eli Manning will be able to mentor him as how to deal with the New York media. You can say something but not give anything, if you guys know what I mean. Basically, don't give the media anything, but you can say all things in the world. But don't give them nothing that they can come back and bite you or different things like that. But he can, basically, I guess in the New York media, fix his attitude, don't be too cocky. Just some different things that he can help him out with being in New York and being the quarterback in New York, because that comes with a lot of scrutiny. Now, also, if they don't trade Odell Beckham Jr., they would have Saquon Barkley, Sterling Shepard, and Aaron Ingram at tight end, and they can use the second, third, and fourth round picks and all the picks like that, and use money in free agency to get players, get more offensive linemen to protect Josh Rosen. Like they need an offensive lineman, they need an offensive lineman with Eli Manning. They can use having Eli there for the first 8 games, mentor, and then move on to Josh Rosen to give the New York Giants a good future, because obviously you guys see the Jets have a future. So Sam Darnold being with the Jets, Josh Rosen will be in New York with the Giants. He'll have a better offensive line when they draft better or go into free agency. He'll have a wide receiver, a running back, and a tight end, and another wide receiver in the slot. So for me, Josh Rosen being with the New York Giants would also help out to help their future and to give him a safe spot to say, I'm here for good. I'm the franchise quarterback, and this organization can move on, and I have to worry about looking for a quarterback and, messing up the team and then using a first round pick on a quarterback and it doesn't work. He's a good quarterback. He just needs an offensive line so he can stay healthy and not get hit and take all those hits and have an offensive line like what happened in Arizona. So the New England Patriots won, the New York Giants is the second team, and the third team for me is the Miami Dolphins. And the reason why I say the Miami Dolphins is because they're moving on from Ryan Tannehill. He's not their guy anymore. They can move on and they can actually trade for him. And if the Miami Dolphins do trade for him, they have a decent offensive line. It's not like they have a bad offensive line. The Miami Dolphins have a decent offensive line that can get better, and they need to make improvements on the defense. But the main thing that they need is wide receivers. Now, I think they should keep Danny Amendola in a slot for that 1 year if they do trade for Josh Rosen, and get some other receivers on the outside to help them out a lot. The Miami Dolphins need offense. They need offense. They need receivers. I don't know if Kenny Stills is still going to be there. I don't know if Devontae Parker, I think that's his name, is going to be there. So they may have to revamp that offense. And I think with that offensive line that they do have, and they can make it better, I think that they can surround him with a good offensive line. The same thing like in New York. Fix the team up. I know it's defensive head coach, but Jim Caldwell is in Miami. He's an offensive coach. He is in Miami that can actually help him out. I think he's the senior assistant head coach, so he can actually help him out on the offensive side of the ball. Brian Flores is down there, and he can actually be the future of the Miami Dolphins, a warm weather city. He's used to being in warm weather. Think about it. UCLA to Phoenix, Arizona. So him being from those warm weather cities, if he does go to Miami, he will be the franchise guy, and there will be nobody else trying to take his spot. There, he'll be the franchise guy. He'll have the organization behind him, and they can actually draft and put a team around him. The same thing with New York and the same thing with the New England Patriots. But the thing is that if they do go out and get Josh Rosen this year, he doesn't have to wait and has to compete to be the starter. The whole organization will be behind him as a whole. So the 3 teams for me is New England, New York, and Miami. Now, Miami would be the best place because, like I said, warm weather city, and it'll be totally around him instead of having to wait 8 games or waiting 2 more years just in case Tom Brady stays for another 2 years. But for me, those are the 3 teams. I guess you can put an extra little bonus, maybe the Jacksonville Jaguars, but I think they're going to go out there and get Nick Foles. Any other teams that the list I'm looking at, Buffalo doesn't need one. The Jets, the Ravens, the Steelers, the Browns, and the Bengals, they don't need a quarterback. I think the Bengals are going to stick with Andy Dalton. The Texans don't need one. The Colts, the Titans, I don't know if they move him for Marcus Mariota. I think they're going to keep him. Jacksonville, like I said, Nick Foles. The Chiefs don't need one. The Chargers, the Broncos, maybe, but they traded for Joe Flacco. The Raiders, I don't think they're going to stick with Derek Carr. They might move off of him, but I don't think they're going to go and get Josh Rosen. The Dallas Cowboys obviously don't. The Philadelphia Eagles, Washington could, but I don't even think, if I'm Josh Rosen, to be honest, I don't even want to play for Washington. No disrespect to Washington, but I wouldn't want to be there. And plus, they're saying that they're confident with Colt McCoy being there, so it is what it is with that team. But then, like I said, the New York Giants, Chicago doesn't need him, Minnesota doesn't need him, the Packers don't need him, Detroit doesn't need him, the Saints, the Falcons, the Panthers, and the Buccaneers do not need him. The Rams, the Seahawks, 49ers, and obviously the Cardinals are going to be trading him if they draft Kyler Murray. But the only teams that I see up here is New York Giants, the New England Patriots, and the Miami Dolphins, and you can throw in the Washington franchise. But like I said, if I'm him, their offensive line always gets hurt too in Washington, so I wouldn't want to play in Washington because the offensive line gets hurt every single year, and he needs to be protected. The only team, the strongest team, like I said, is the Miami Dolphins. But if he doesn't go to Miami, the New York Giants, and except for the New York Giants, the New England Patriots. Let me know in the comment section if you do agree with me or not. If you think of another team that may, like the Saints, Drew Brees could be gone in a year and they could use a Josh Rosen inside of a dome and won't have to worry about anything like that. But let me know in the comment section, how do you feel about this video? What's your take on it? Let me know how you feel. What's your opinion? Please like the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel. I will be back with more videos. Until next time, guys, I'm out. Thank you for watching. Peace.